Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. And by New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation, New Orleans, where stories are created. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Poppy Tucker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hello,
hello,
kiddo.
Peg.
Hi there. We're so glad he's back. Pianist Ronnie Kole, who'll be performing for us later and co-hosting with his wife Gardner an upcoming benefit. Very, very special. Hello.
I'm warming up from
You're
my
warming up.
performance.
You're practicing. And Alan Smason of theatercriticism.com. We'll also have a performance by Johnette Downing and Scott Billington later. But first up, Poppy.
Well, now that the Mardi Gras madness has passed, it's time for bean madness, red bean madness, that is. This is the crew of Red Beans' answer to March Madness. And so the road to the final fork begins next Wednesday the 20th from 4 until 6 at the Jean Lafitte Visitor Center in the French Quarter, the first tasting battle between Emily Shia and Chef Smitty. There'll be the Treme Brass Band. And what everybody needs to know if they want to participate in this fun is you go to www.redbeansnola.com and you get your bracket sheet, just like with the basketball thing. And you play along by picking your participating favorite chef or restaurant red bean person. There's 32 different red beans competing, or restaurants competing. It's a $5 entry to get into the contest, and then winners will win gift certificates to participating restaurants and lots of crew of Red Bean loot. So then the next big thing, this is going to be the really fun time, Saturday, March the 30th from noon until 7, they're having a Sweet 16 block party in the 3200 block of Burgundy, right there near Bud Rip's Bar. 2 simultaneous matches going on all day. There'll be 16 participants, of course, and at the end of the day, the final 8 are chosen, and there'll be 2 more rounds of red bean eating, including one at the Bucktown Farmers Market before the final winner is selected at a big hoopla on April the 8th. And all of this great red bean fun is brought to you by Camellia Brand Beans and the crew of Red Bean, with all proceeds benefiting local charities like Anna's Place, Kids Smart, and Southern Rep Theater. So then, you know, Peg, I'm wearing the cookie today because it is St. Joseph's Day coming next week. Mi Carême, you know, that mid-Lenten feast, Tuesday, March the 19th. One of the places I intend to be is from 5:30 to 7 at the International House. They're going to have accordion music, Sicilian pizza by Chef Emerald Lagasse's team, all free, breads by Angelo's, a sidewalk cafe, chalk art, and of course, a gorgeous St. Joseph altar. And for a full list of St. Joseph altars, everybody can just go to our website. There's so many of them. It's fantastic. And then the last thing I wanted to say is, of course, it is Lent. So did you give up alcohol for Lent? Eat Fit NOLA has this alcohol-free for 40 campaign that they do. And both Sobu and Commanders are participating with delicious alcohol-free drinks. You can have a peach basil cooler at Commanders, or Nectar of the Gods at Sobu, and you can stick with your alcohol-free for 40 with Eat Fit NOLA.
Very good. And thanks to WWL, because they put together that list. That's an amazing, amazing list.
Our buddy Dom, what would we do
our
without
friend
him?
Dominic, yes indeed. Well, Ronnie, my goodness, 27 years you and your wonderful wife Gardner have been putting together, with, I know, help, you have a committee, but in helping Easter Seals, but other local charities too.
Well, Stark St. Tammany Association for Retired Citizens, and
And quite
Oh
a few
gosh,
others.
the Tourist Commission for the North
Yeah.
Shore, and
But it's 2 days, which is impressive, the 23rd and the 24th.
yeah,
and
it's best to come there
music
the
and,
first day because the second day I'm hungover.
That's true. But you've got like a silent you've got auction, stuff to auction. It's really, but your house, it's on Bayou Liberty.
Yeah,
and,
it's,
you know, and what a beautiful setting.
Well, and it's a rarity because most fundraisers like that are done in hotels or whatever. This is done in our backyard between the house and beautiful Bayou Liberty. And tents, it looks like a Barnum and Bailey Ringling Brothers circus with all these tents. They're already up and they're ready to go. Music galore, 15 plus chefs each day, different restaurants come out. And I've got to say this because people sometimes think that they're all being paid. They aren't. They come out and donate their food, they donate their services. And I'd like to start mentioning which ones they are, but you know, too many. Come out and enjoy it. Come out and enjoy it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, of course, you've been playing in New Orleans for what, over 50 years? Would that be about right?
No,
you know,
I just
when did
came
you come
last week.
When did you first come to New Orleans?
Actually, I came to stay. It was probably in the 60s.
Wow,
And,
yeah, so it's
Al
about
Hurt
50
brought me in, and that's a
Whew.
long story.
Yeah.
I'll try to make it short, but I was touring and doing road things, and we were in Norfolk, Virginia, and the next booking I had was 2 weeks in Nashville, and I was going to make up my mind. I was going to make up my mind driving between Norfolk and Nashville as to where I wanted to settle down. And it was going to be on the Gulf Coast or New Orleans. And to this day, I don't know which one I was going to choose because Al called me up and we had met in Vegas and we became friends throughout the years and acquaintances and stuff. And he says, I'm opening up my new club on Bourbon Street. I want you to come in and be my house band and all that. And he made up my mind for me. But I said, Al, I can't come in on that date that you have. I said, I'm booked into Nashville and I have this second week and I can't break a contract. And he says, okay, he says, I'll work something out. And then later he calls me back. He says, I got someone to take your place. I said, who is it? He says, Boots Randolph. So every time I saw Boots, I would always say, because we go back many years, I said, yeah, you are filling in for me this time, buddy.
Great story. Well, once again, I love that. And so much history, being one of the founders of the French Quarter Festival. The list is long. I know, you all have been so involved. But you're going to play for us tonight. And just a reminder, though, Jazz in the Bayou's coming up next week. But right now, Ronnie's going to play. And, you know, he's played all over the world. But many of us remember his performance, of course, of Amazing Grace that he played for Pope John Paul II. When he visited New Orleans, he's played that for us before. So tonight, though, he's going to play San Antonio Rose. that the 27th anniversary of Jazz on the Bayou is next Saturday and Sunday at Chateau Cole in Slidell. Visit jazzonthebayou.com for more information. New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Pat Weber gave us the names of a neighborhood and a waterway that are both named after the Irish. The answers, of course, are Irish Channel and Irish Bayou, respectively. Now, tonight's question. The namesake of this Italian restaurant is a native of an Italian island. Name the restaurant and the island. Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, a DVD of the WYES documentary New Orleans, the First 300 Years, narrated by John Goodman, and a dish towel with the message, One New Orleans, from our friends at wearablevegetables.com. You can go to WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, including the New Orleans Museum of Art's newest exhibit, featuring the artwork of New Orleans artist Keith Saunier. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to see our program. You know, recently, musicians Johnette and Scott Billington came on in to visit us and tell us about their newest CD release, and they will be performing a song from it too. Another brand new CD, Swamp Romp, a Louisiana dance CD for children, but also for adults too.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So glad. And how many CDs does this make for you?
This is
all?
11 recordings. Yes.
Congratulations. And so many children's books. Johnette, how many of those?
I have 24 children's books now.
Oh,
yeah.
But it's great now, of course, in the last few years. Scott's playing the harmonica. You're quite the duo here. And Scott, your background with Rounder Records,
Yes.
3 Grammys.
3 Grammys, and I'm sure I've made over 100 records of Louisiana music now. People like
Bobby
Bojack and Irma
Rush
Thomas and Bobby Rush. Yeah.
Congratulations.
So,
And you've
thank
got
you.
some friends on the CD.
We do. We have Irma Thomas came out for us, and we have the Dukes of Dixieland, the Dirty Dozen Brass Band, and then also from Southwest Louisiana, we have Joel Savoy and Lee Alenzino, Doug Belote. So it's an all-star cast of musicians.
Any upcoming events?
Yes, we'll be performing at the Ogden Museum of Southern Art on March 30th at 11:30, and it's Family Day, so bring the family out.
And the Jazz Fest. and
Jazz
the
Fest,
Children's
yes.
Tent. And that's not just for children either, we should say. It's so much fun to be there.
No, and we're going to have a special guest this year because Irma Thomas is going to come and perform the song that she sings on the record with Johnette at Jazz Fest this year.
That's great. And
Yeah.
tell us about the song you're about to perform for us.
This is called Mississippi River. It's a spelling chant that my mom taught me how to spell Mississippi by using a chant. And so I added music and additional lyrics to teach children about the Mississippi River.
Well, great. Well, let's hear from Johnette and Scott. I'll take it away.
M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I, river. M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I, river. Mississippi River, rolling down the river, Mississippi River, Mississippi River. M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I, river. M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I, river. Mississippi River, rolling down the river, Mississippi River, Mississippi River. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I River. Mississippi River. Muddy River, Old Man River, down the Mississippi River, down the river, mighty river, down the muddy Mississippi River.
All right, a reminder that you can see Johnette and Scott performing at the Ogden Museum of Southern Arts at Free Family Day, and that'll be on Saturday, March 30th. Visit the museum's website for more information. And now it's time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we'll tell you about an art installation that you can be a part of, for it's the new City Park location of the Louisiana Children's Museum, and they have recruited local artist Mitchell Gode, glass artist, to make 500 glass beads, and is asking the public to personalize them. When finished, the beads will be hung on a 240-foot-long porch railings right in front of the museum. For $8,000, of course, this is all to help the museum, you can personalize your bead with a message, quote, or names. You are given 3 lines of 18 characters each to work with. You can also add an animal design for an additional $100. Isn't that fun? Orders will be accepted, though, only until April 1st. So to fill out the order form, visit lcm.org/beads. And that's going to be a lot of fun. It is a beautiful building, too. It's really coming along. And now time for Ellen.
And I'm really happy to hear about them doing that. Well, it's time now, ladies and gentlemen, that New Orleans is finally in the room where it happens. Yes, the groundbreaking work of Lin-Manuel Miranda, better known as Hamilton, an American musical, and that's the actual title, currently on its national tour, is at the Sanger Theater, and it offers theater lovers an opportunity, to expand their minds and break free from the past in much of the same way that the 13 colonies broke from the yoke of British imperialism. That said, there are some in this birthplace of jazz and the home of funk and bounce music who are somewhat resistant to its charms. But Hamilton is not the first musical to incorporate hip-hop and rap successfully into contemporary musical theater. Actually, that honor would go back to Miranda's previous Tony winner, which was In the Heights. In many ways, that was an homage to New York and to Hispanic America. But Hamilton is really a multi-layered love letter to America. And for that, all that America stands for. It acknowledges that many of its residents are immigrants seeking liberty and to find opportunity in this new world. Alexander Hamilton is offered as an archetypal immigrant who comes to America's shores and establishes himself as an independent thinker and a leader, and is seen one of course, as founding fathers. Miranda brilliantly takes Hamilton and other white figures of history, but casts them as minorities, as the backdrop of American independence is played out and the early years of its foundation are seen through a modern lens. And really, it's a musical metaphor for all the possibilities of all of our indigenous peoples. The really respectful but somewhat playful representations of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, the Marquis de Lafayette, and Aaron Burr as people of color are really used to connect to the America of today, and the music is the conduit to which they come through alive. Miranda's book and music are really enormously helped by the choreography of Andy Blankenbuehler. He was part of this original team that was established with Thomas Kail as the director, orchestrator, Alex Lacamoire, and they orchestrated all of the music, essentially first for In the Heights and then later on with Hamilton. But the songs, the movement, the orchestrations, they flow seamlessly as the characters play out on stage. It is something to see, something to behold. It has tension, it has power, and it all adds snap to all the performances on stage. So in the titular role, Joseph Morales has the task of channeling other Alexander Hamilton's, Javier Muñez, of course, who took over from Lin-Manuel Miranda. But this role that Morales does is historically correct. A lot of people saw him as small in stature. Hamilton was only really 5'7". So, it really does play true to life. Nick Walker as Aaron Burr is quite comfortable in the role. His rendition of The Room Where It Happens was quite delicious. And then, of course, there's Erin Clemens as Eliza Hamilton, who has her major moment in Burn, where she literally removes the evidence of her love for her husband. husband. Taria Campbell as the sister Angelica Schuyler possesses her vocal chops to carry off such songs as the Schuyler Sisters and Satisfied. John Patrick Walker's performance as King George was a bit too playful, a little bit over the top, a little saccharine for me, but Elijah Malcolm, Kyle, Sadaf, Fergie Phillip, all great in the main characters of supporting Hamilton and Burr. Marcus Choi, who played the role of George Washington, sang well, but again, it's difficult to establish him because he was small and Washington was so much larger, so that was a little bit off of life. But again, this is a musical that is taking the past and bringing it forward. And again, you have to understand the music. It's very complicated. It's much more of a opportunity for you to learn to appreciate all of the permutations of hip hop and how it can be blended and can be a real musical experience. I think this is something that is transformative. It's an experience that I saw in New York on the original cast, and I think it's really important that people see it. So go check it out if you can. If you can get tickets, they're sold out for the most part, but there is a lottery every day that you can get every 2 days. You can sign up in 48 hours in advance. Hamilton at the Sanger through, I believe, March the 31st.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, A Raise in the Sun is going to be playing at the Ashe Powerhouse, of course, on Barone Street. Again, this is the powerful story of a black family moving into a white residence neighborhood, if you will, and sort of breaking the color barrier there. It's a remarkable study and the way that humanity deals with itself and the way that people of color have to deal back in the old days, of course, with the prejudice that was prevalent. Hopefully, much of that has been erased, but as we all know, there is still some that exist today. But this is something to see. Ashe Powerhouse, 1731 Barone Street. And one other point I wanted to make before I left was that there's going to be an interview coming up at the Tennessee Williams New Orleans Literary Festival with Brian Batt doing the interviewing and Patricia Clarkson taking part at the Queen Anne Ballroom on Saturday, March the 30th as part of the Tennessee Williams Festival. So keep that in mind, something else to keep in mind.
Yes, and should I just, since I happen to know this, though, the tickets are $25, but there's a higher end ticket if you want to be a part of a reception.
If you want to mingle.
Meet and greet with Patricia Clarkson. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. That just came together. So thank you for sharing that. And now it is time, though, for our picks. Poppy.
Well, do you see these cookies, Peggy?
Do you see
Oh,
them?
my goodness. Well, St.
Okay.
Francis Xavier Church at 444 Metairie Road will be having their annual St. Joseph Altar on Monday, March 18th, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Look at these cookies. I don't mean
public
to stand in front
viewing.
of your
And
chin.
Tuesday, that's when the public
Wow.
feeding is,
Wow.
11:30
Gorgeous.
to 2.
Can we eat one?
No, yes, we're going to choose some
Absolutely.
cookies.
Okay, thank you. Ronnie, you're going to be at some festivals, huh?
Yeah, the French Quarter Festival, of course, I'm one of the founders of that. And,
Yeah.
and we're excited about that. We're doing it this Saturday.
Good. Okay,
And,
coming up. Yeah, and
coming
Jazz
up.
Fest too, huh?
Jazz
so that's
Fest,
great.
we're going to do a very special thing, sort of like a tribute to Pete and Al
Okay.
that they're having.
Wonderful. Alan.
The Radical Buffoons are putting on a new piece called Barbecue at the Fortress of Lushington, which is sort of in the, I guess that would be the Bywater area, right past the Marigny. So again, if you get a chance, it's $15 to $30 for tickets. March the 21st is the opening, and I think it runs all the way till April the 6th.
Okay, and now my picks. The Friends of the Jefferson Library's big book sale is this weekend at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, and the event in parking is free. And there will be a panel discussion at Xavier University titled Voodoo in New Orleans, Myth and Reality. That's this Sunday at 3 p.m. in the McCaffrey Ballroom in the University's Student Center at Xavier. Admission is free. Next week, don't miss Cabrini High School's beautiful St. Joseph altar. It is on view in their chapel. I saw it last year. It was gorgeous, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's next Tuesday. The Historic New Orleans Collection presents the Louisiana Philharmonic Orchestra's free concert called Direct from New Orleans, featuring selections from New Orleans composers and classical music. That will be next Wednesday at St. Louis Cathedral. It's free too. Visit lpomusic.com or hnoc.org for info. Don't miss an intimate dinner with Intimate Enemies, which is a 3-course meal at Tableau Restaurant featuring actors Miko Machianu and Diana Shortez as the Baron and Baroness de Pontalba. Special guests include the U.S. Embassy in Paris's cultural asset manager, as well as a descendant of the Baroness Pontalba. Tickets are available through Eventbrite.com. And next Thursday, the Symphony Chorus of New Orleans is presenting its second annual homeless benefit concert, Street Requiem, Homeless, Not Helpless, and not hopeless either, and the Academy of Sacred Heart's NIM Center. That's where it'll be located. Admissions start at $15 and will benefit Ozen Amen and Hotel Hope. And before we leave you, I want to share the names of the winners of our Carnival quiz that aired during our broadcast of the Rex Ball Mardi Gras night. And first, the questions. Number one, on which Rex signature float are the maskers always dressed like butchers? The Boeuf Gras. In the song If Ever I Cease to Love, what does it suggest that the moon is made of? Green cream cheese. And Comus created a unique spelling of the word commonly used in Carnival, crew, K-R-E-W-E. And here are the winners. We've got Pat Rue, she won the one-night stay at Homus House, and Kenny Kaufman, the Rex Proclamation, Rex Bulletin, Phil Bosch, and we also had, let's see, and Mardi Gras Chronicles, the book, Amanda Sisson, Mardi Gras Moments by me and Judy Petoni, Dr. Henry Andressen, thank you to Pelican, and the Rex Ball DVD, Irwin Bothay Jr. By the way, the winners will be listed on WYES.org starting Monday. And once again, as I said, thank you so much to our donors, to Pelican, to Homus House. It really means a whole lot that they donated. And we had a great turnout by way of viewing of the Rex Ball in many countries, including India, because we were streaming. Okay, so now, though, we will leave you with one last look of Mardi Gras, a bit of Babylon Amuses by videographer Jonathan Evans. Thank you all so much, and thank you for watching. Good night.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. And by New Orleans Tourism Marketing Corporation, New Orleans, where stories are created. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.